Blueprints, where transformation meets truth. I'm your host, Saima, and today we are joined by our amazing Mridula, a trauma recovery Reiki grandmaster and the visionary behind I Rewake. With 23 years of helping people break free from emotional pain and physical illness in as little as 4 hours, she's here to reveal the deeper truth behind healing. That it's not about coping, it's about completely rewiring your energy, emotions, and life from the soul outward. Ridula, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Saima. Thank you. Lovely to be here.
You're warmly welcome. It's my pleasure to have you here. So, Mridula, your soul rebirth process claims life altering results within 24 to 72 hours, and that's remarkable. So, can you share that how does rapid healing truly work, especially when most people believe healing takes years?
Yes. So, most people assume that, healing is something that takes time. The time will heal everything. And, it is quite a misnomer actually, because even if you take a physical cut, let's say somebody falls down and then they bruise themselves, then obviously we go to the doctor, we tend to the physical wound, we clean it up, we disinfect, we put some ointment over it. And after the entire medical attention has been given, then time heals it all. And when it comes, to the emotional or soul level injuries, the same holds true. But the sad part is that, we as a culture, we are taught that, let it go, don't talk about it, time will heal it, give it time. In this whole process, we are actually even not acknowledging our soul level injuries, our emotional fractures, let alone treat them properly. So, Soul Rebirth Blueprint, it was born from this truth that, our deepest patterns of depression, fatigue, failure, stuckedness, even chronic illnesses are often symptoms of unseen injuries, the emotional hemorrhages or energetic fractures that never got the right attention. So, in my profession, I routinely meet people who have faltered in their 30s and their 40s. They are somehow, they've gotten to manage themselves, land in a deep abyss. Sometimes a lot of these people are those people who are supposedly, following the script and they're successful by the local standard, These are people who have, have a steady job, they have studied well, they are married, they have children, they're having these, vacations, yearly vacations, luxury holidays, or maybe, even having a weekend parties. Everything on the outside looks perfect. And yet you will find them clinically depressed. Not because something went wrong, but because they never paused to ask if this was their script. Did they want to do this? And that kind of quiet despair, that constant tiredness or feeling disoriented that comes from our deeper need to be in sync with ourselves, to do things that, really excited us. But we never chose them because they never made any sense. They were not practical. Those are often the signs where, you start becoming ill, firstly in the spirit, and if it is left unattended over the passage of time, then often in the body, this kind of misalignment. So the soul rebirth process, what it does is it just doesn't just make you feel better. Technically, if anyone is depressed, or it could be because of, they are doing everything right, but yet they are still depressed, or it could be because, something horrible has happened. Let's say somebody went through a horrible breakup, or they were cheated upon, or they were, they had a divorce, for example. Then how this process will work in that particular case is it will not just make you feel better, it will help you remember who you truly are. And it will help you unlock beyond trauma, beyond conditioning, beyond the stories that you've inherited that, one needs to be successful and earn this much, then only you are good. Is that true? Really? If you're divorced, that means you're a failure. Is that true? Not really. If you have had a breakup, you will not really find someone else again in life. Not really. And these are not just the thoughts or the beliefs. This is not just till your subconscious that we help you erase the bad memories, or we help you forget the pain. No, the soul rebirth process goes much deeper, and it helps you recover the parts of you that you left behind. For example, if somebody goes through a trauma of, let's say, a divorce, there is definitely a part within them which once put their entire faith into a relationship and they thought that this is going to work. And then when it fractures, the divorce happens, the relationship fractures, the part of them somehow, fractures apart or it gets tied down that I will never love again. It's safe to be out. It's better to maintain distance. Life has no guarantee. People will not reciprocate. Now, this is the kind of pain that gets deeply set in, and that is a part of them which knew how to love, which knew how to trust, which gets lost in time. Same goes for someone who has been wading through the life through some unwritten script and yet find themselves lost. To that person also, there was once a part within them that wanted to excel, wanted to do things that make them alive. They wanted to, explore parts of themselves which wanted to express, and yet they chose to set those things aside in pursuit of some success. Now, the soul rebirth process, as you undergo session by session, these kind of, changes will start happening within your chakras, within your auras, in your subconscious mind, and the whole energy within you will automatically rewire your nervous system, your entire physical body. And by the time you do 12 sessions, which is like 2 hours each, that is total of 24 hours, you would not find yourself just mentally or emotionally better or differently wired. You would certainly be in your own essence, your blueprint of who you were. And that is when, the suicidal thoughts, the trauma, the depression, the physical ailments, they start disappearing. So this is how, every time I find someone, like to give you a case of someone, whom I helped with having a suicidal ideation. Now, that particular girl, I was not even aware that she was having suicidal ideations, and she was someone, who was taking even psychiatric meds. But when I spoke to her and I came to know about her history, then I came to realize that, she has been living her life from the sense of a privilege, maybe since childhood. And she had this worldview that, world is going to treat her nice. And when piece by piece, her imagination fell apart, she somehow could not take the world for what it is. So after the process, as we did the sessions, she somehow could come to the terms with the fact that, the world is not as bad a place as I thought it was. That was the first revelation too. Secondly, the good and the bad coexist. Thirdly, I can still be good and find a way to deal with the bad. I can still be me without having to chip away my original self. And once she understood all of this, she had this kind of awakening. It was in the whole process she found variety of ways to combat, to adapt, to deal, to have capability to handle the situations around her, wherein she could carve out her own utopian world without being disoriented. This is when her suicidal ideation stopped, because in that way she understood, okay, suicide is no longer the only option. I have another ways to handle this and be happy. And this is how, all my clients, when they come to me with some kind of a physical issue, I have to look deeper. How exactly did they create that disease in their body? What exactly did they think? In what kind of situations? What kind of lessons was life trying to teach them? And piece by piece, everybody recovers and they become the original and the much upgraded version of who they are. They really awaken. And this all happens in like 24 hours.
That's great. It really makes me think about like how many people are walking around carrying wounds that were never acknowledged, let alone healed, and because they're invisible not just to others, but sometimes even
Mhm.
to ourselves, we end up, normalizing the pain, calling it personality or just the way life is. And that's such a powerful way you have framed it, like unseen injuries. What you're saying suggests that true healing doesn't necessarily have to be this long drawn out process. It can actually be about finally seeing what's being hidden, naming it, and releasing it at the energetic or soul level. That's such a radical shift.
Perfect. Yes, precisely. This is very, very powerful. And the beauty of this whole process is, not a single client of mine has shed a single drop of tear. The session is so magical in its way that, not only do you just disassociate with the pain, you start unlocking the wisdom that was behind it. Why did life offer you this experience in first place? What exactly did you need to learn? And the whole process, which is very counterintuitive to how a counseling or a psychology treatment works, wherein you are encouraged to share and have a deep emotional release. But in the language of spirituality, in the language of energy, you the energy cannot be created. It can, or nor can it be destroyed. The energy can only be transmuted from one form to another. So when we do these
Mm-hmm.
processes, all of these kind of stuck emotions, stuck thoughts, the feeling of shame, guilt, regret, pain, abandonment, you name it, they all naturally transmute. And I mean, it's like a magic, if you do a 2 hour session, somebody walks in and they explain to you, this happened, that happened, that happened, that happened. After 2 hours, their energy has shifted, their perspective has expanded. They physically, I mean, you look at them, they look different. Their cheeks are flushed, their eyes are brighter, they feel energetic, not someone who is deeply sick. And then you ask them, okay, so what happened really? And then they will tell you the exactly opposite story. It's really profound how our brain can actually come up with a different perspective, something which was so traumatizing. Somehow they will be like, it's okay. I mean, it's part of life. And sometimes people will simply contradict. No, this never happened. Who said that this person did XYZ things to me? This to never happened. That person was taking care of me. No, that person never traumatized me. I mean, it's radical. It's really radical.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. This flips everything we have been told about slow healing and opens a door for radical possibility for sure. Now, I wonder that, like, how do you know the difference between symptom relief and full system transformation?
Yeah, that's a very wonderful question, Simon. So, symptom release is something like this that, let's say someone is feeling low. They have been through something, or maybe in general, they're feeling low. So, that person, they go and watch a movie, they speak to someone, they confide in their friends, maybe they take a walk around, maybe they just, go out and eat something of their choice, and somehow they feel better. Okay. Now, that's a symptomatic relief in the sense when, as an energy, we work on people, we are looking forward to break the pattern. So, for example, the cause of their situation was that they keep on working and working and working, but they're never able to encash their success. It's always the other person who gets promoted. It's always some second person who gets more credit. It's always them who gets scolded for some small mistakes. Now, these were the problems that they were crying over on. Symptomatic relief is they will feel a little better and they will face a situation maybe with a little more positive outlook. That's a symptomatic relief. And you know it's a symptomatic relief because this particular problem will recur probably in some different shape and size in the forthcoming future. When we talk about a systemic transformation, it means that particular person will undergo a change so that they're more equipped. They can understand what was happening, why it was happening. In their deeper realization, they have unlocked the pattern, they have unlocked the truth. And when they look forward in the future, they can see themselves tackling the same situation differently. They will have thousand different ways to tackle it, and they will be able to get the outcome that they needed. It could be the promotion, it could be a clear conversation, it could be the ability to face a particular person who earlier was impossible to deal with, something that you could not have had done before. Now you would be able to do it systematically and clearly in future. And that means you have broken the chain. That is when we know that the pattern has been interrupted.
Mm-hmm. That's such a meaningful distinction, I must say, Mridula. Like, and I think it's one a lot of people don't realize until they have experienced both. Like, symptom relief
Mhm.
can feel like a quick fix, like putting a bandage on something that keeps reopening. But like full system transformation, as you're describing, it seems to be about real cellular level shifts where the old patterns don't just quiet down, they actually dissolve. And it really highlights at how true healing is about wholeness, not just relief. So thank you for articulating that
Absolutely.
so clearly.
Thank you for being here, Simon, for listening so patiently.
You're warmly welcome. Yes, I'm loving to listen all the stuffs. Now, you help clients with everything from societal depression to physical immobility. So, can you share, like, are there common energetic or subconscious patterns behind such intense conditions?
Yes, yes. There are a lot of times. See, let's say three people are having skin condition like three people are having rashes and they're feeling itchy. Now, when you speak to these three people, you would find three people have found a different way to create a problem. Like one person could be feeling extremely angry and irritable because of some people in their life. It could be their family, friends, spouse, anyone. And because that phrase that person gets under my skin, so this particular person gets so irritated and gets so triggered by the presence of these people that the person has developed itches and rashes in them on their skin. So physically, this particular person is having rashes because the person is holding a lot of anger and irritation in their body. Now, the second person, let's say they are having a irritation, eczema kind of situation in their physical body. Maybe that person is just creating this disease to get attention, to escape the consequences, to escape the responsibility of, having to bear the burden or responsibilities of life. Third person could have created this similar disease for some other reason altogether. When you are talking about a physical issue, though there are some common patterns which could be there, the baseline of everything is that your body is responding to your internal energy configuration. And no two people are same, no two energy blueprints are same. If one person feels burdened and they feel the weight of responsibility, some people feel it in their shoulders, which is most common, but there are also some people who will feel it in their lower back, meaning they may be prone to develop more lower back problems, and there could be some people who feel the weight of the entire responsibility on their head. So the common pattern over here being that how you are creating or how that person is creating that physical symptom. What is the energy problem? What is the way of thinking? What is the suppressed emotion, which is so chronic that their whole physical body has gotten affected?
Mhm. That really uh, puts things into perspective. Like the way you describe those deep patterns, how they shape not just our thoughts, but even our bodies, makes so much sense. And you brought it with such clarity and compassion to this deeply human experiences. It's really inspiring to hear like what's possible when we stop just managing symptoms and start, healing at the root.
Mhm. True. Like
Yeah.
I had one client, the person was a cancer survivor. Twice he had beaten the cancer. And after two rounds of, winning over the cancer, this person somehow could not walk properly. And the doctor said, okay, maybe it is because of the weakness, because of the chemotherapy. You just do physiotherapy, it will be fine. And in the course of the chemo, the person also developed certain, diabetes and thyroid and general weakness and everything. So for one full year, that person took medication, supplements, and everything, all in hope that, this is just a physical problem and I will be able to walk again. But the person could, I mean, even after 1 year of recovery of cancer, the person could just never even get up. My client, he was like, I have to hold something to even get up and make two steps forward. Now, when he came to me, he never had any expectation. Like he could not even connect the dots that, this has got anything to do with him. I said, I have to investigate how exactly are you creating this problem for yourself? And after the investigation, I realized this person had a very challenging childhood. The person also had a very challenging financial history. The person also had a very challenging medical history. And by the time he reached an age of 55 plus, he somehow got a feeling that now I cannot walk forward. I'm tired. And if I do walk forward, already twice I've gotten a cancer. If I walk forward, and that became metaphorical, if I continue with my life forward, that means I'm going to get cancer the third time and then I will not survive. So indirectly, he gave himself his a message to his body, let's not walk forward, which got translated into him not able to being able to walk. After 4 sessions, the person walked.
Oh. That's powerful to think illness might just be a misalignment waiting to be decoded.
Yeah, that's how it is.
So, like, is there a daily practice or tool from your process? Like a short daily practice listeners can try
Uh,
right
Nothing. I mean, the beauty of this entire tool is that it's a surgery. You do it once and you are done. There is no affirmation, no chanting, no daily meditation, nothing which you need to do on the daily basis. Because once you have changed, it's like you have undergone a metamorphosis. Once a larva becomes a butterfly, that's it, done. Go fly. There is nothing
now?
which anybody has to do. Nothing. One time process and you're done. There's no going back from there.
That's remarkable. That you have said it so beautifully. Like, even a small energetic reset can open the door to immense healing. Like, if we know where to begin, that's, you've put it beautifully.
Hmm.
So, listeners, if today states something in you, don't ignore it. Decode it and explore Mridula's work. Dive into the soul rebirth process and dare to believe that transformation doesn't have to take time. It just takes truth. Your healing is not far away, it's already waiting.